Okay, so today is a very, very special day for me because I'm receiving a good friend of mine, Kader, who runs a consultancy and a training session with his wife, partner, Daphne. And I have two cameras here. I have the privilege of having two cameras, and we have some guests. So I'll let Kader introduce himself, introduce his business, and what is it that you do. So hi, Kader, thank you for being with us. And what can you tell us about your business?
Yeah, good morning, Toufic. Dobar den. Thank you for hosting us today. Yes, it's a special day because we were authorized to go back to the barn just to take care of our horses.
Okay.
Because our activity, as you said, is so the name of our company is Khrisallis Coaching Zone. I think you know us because you participate.
I'll include it in the link, guys, for you guys to follow.
Very much. So we're doing coaching, but a very particular coaching because we're using horses. Maybe you can see them behind me.
Yeah.
So we're using horses only on ground. So nobody's riding. There's no rider with us. And it's dedicated and focused on leadership, developing leadership and team building as well. So the idea is to use the horses, their sensitivity, their capabilities to help us developing ourselves. So we're doing this in Bulgaria for already 2 years. We've been certified in Germany. We are part of an international network, EAHAE.
Nice.
So, and we have a concept which is called Horse Dream. So we've had so far quite a bit of a Bulgarian company. We've enjoyed people from Plovdiv, from Sofia, from Bansko, and we hope to develop and to make our training known all over Bulgaria and outside. We managed to get one Algerian company that was a few months ago. So they came from Algeria.
Nice. So I gotta say, I did this training. At first, I was skeptical of what kind of relationship can you build with an animal and a horse when you don't have when you haven't seen him, when you're discovering each other. And I did this, and I can tell you that this training actually literally changed my life, gave me a lot of perspective on a lot of things, because there's a relationship during the sessions that is built between you and the horse, and suddenly the horse becomes the part of you that is knocking you on the head, you know, like the horse becomes the person inside you that is just telling you, why are you thinking about this? And why are you, and then he asks you all the uncomfortable questions, right? Without even speaking to you, you're just connecting with the animal, and you're, so it really changed my life. If there's any recommendation I can make for anybody is try them out. It's really an experience. It's once in a lifetime experience. Everybody needs that at some point of their life. Kader, I wanted to ask you, how are you guys coping with this COVID-19? Because obviously now you're connected with your animals, but you're not able maybe to receive people, I assume, for this. So
that's quite difficult, to be honest. But I mean, we stopped the last group we had, the last team building we made. There was a company from Plovdiv. The last day, the day of confinement, it was on the 12th and 13th of March.
Okay.
So that day, the 13th, they left a little bit earlier and heading back to Plovdiv. So that was the last group. And since we had few customers planned after that, but of course everybody canceled because of not only the confinement, but because in Bansko we were in quarantine. So which means it was even worse. So we could not move, could not do anything. So everything was canceled. So far, we've been hit by the COVID-19. Of course, we have no visibility on our workload. Year end. So we have nothing. All the marketing, all the contact we've had, and all the forecast that we've had has been, of course, postponed to until further notice.
Of course. Human interaction, basically. Everything related with human interaction is postponed for everybody.
We only have the possibility to interact with our horses, just to take care of them. It's not our horses, as you know. We are hosted by Dvorene Konya Center in Razlog. So we got this the measure on we are not interfering with the people. We just come and take care of the horses. We trying to take the time now of this confinement to develop a new exercises, no new approach. So we are focusing on leadership, but we are also developing modules for management conflict, to develop also intuition using the horses, because you know the way it works. Huh? We are on ground, and the skills of the horses just to help each of us learning, because you need to understand who you are, and to be yourself, just to get the contact and the connection with the horses. And this very interesting, actually, coming back to the COVID-19. You know, right now with this remote workers that are spreading all over the world because you have no choice. That's one point that needs to be developed, is trust. And that's what we learn. That's what you learn with horses. People, managers need to trust their people. It's not because they're home that they're not going to work. Trust them. They're going to do the work. And that's something we're trying to develop one module. We are thinking of putting this module online to help people just developing themselves, trusting, and of course, at next opportunity, coming here just to interfere directly with the horses. But yes, we're trying to learn and to develop our activity and new thinking, just so that when time is ready, we can start again and hopefully get more and more customers.
Of course. Well, what you're saying about trust is very true. I think we already discussed it a few times. I have an approach with my team, the team that we're running. I've always had this approach, and actually, if you can talk to any of them, they will tell you it is that my approach is, if I cannot trust you to work when I'm not looking, I shouldn't hire you in the first place. So exactly. That's the point, is why would I build a relationship where I cannot trust you? First, everything is coachable, is teachable. All the skills you can learn, they could be invested in, you can learn. But first, trust has to be built. If I cannot trust you to work or to do the right thing when I'm not looking, then basically, why would I hire you? And I think what you're touching on is a very important thing, because it doesn't come naturally for all the managers.
No.
How a lot of managers are like, okay, how much are you going to get work done in your living room? Well, a lot. You can get a lot done in a living room, and it's not because you're working from home that you're not actually working. Nice.
I think the time of micromanagement is over. We knew that for long, because trust needs to be installed, and confidence. But more than ever with this confinement, the micromanagement is over. So you have to develop yourself. You have to understand that you need to trust your employee, your collaborators, your stakeholders, that they're going to do the work. And I hope they'll be surprised, because as you know, when you trust people, they do even better and more than what you would do by micromanagement, them being on their shoulder day long. But here they can't. You can't be. No, you can't. To keep the.
No, you can't. But still, I think we're going sometimes, and I see it with some of the people I interact with, and even with clients or suppliers or whoever. I think people are mistaking these notions of micromanagement and macromanagement and management by leadership and whatever. I think when there are schools that say, okay, micromanage until you can trust. I say give a credit of trust first. I start with a credit score of plus always in trust, and then your actions are gonna get you less credit. That's how I trust. I don't start from zero. I give you plus 10, and then your action are gonna get you either to plus 20, or your action are gonna bring you back to zero, right? So that's I think the positiveness of saying give the trust first, and then assess whether it was a good idea to give it or not, rather than spending your time assessing whether it's a good idea or not to give it, and waste valuable time for your company, right? That's something I really learned from you guys. And the second thing I learned from you guys is also that not to mistake delegation with management, because I'm like, oh, I don't micromanage, I delegate. Yes, but you're still in charge. It doesn't mean that you can tell yourself, oh, I'm not following because I'm delegating, so it's his responsibility. No. Even if you're delegating, you're still in charge. Even if you're delegating the tasks, you're still in charge. If you're a manager, you're in charge, period. There's an expression in the United States that says, the buck lands on my desk, meaning that at the end of the day, the problem will land on my desk and I'm in charge, whether I delegated, whether I trusted, whether I micromanaged, whatever it is. And I think there's a misconception on this. Can you touch a little bit on these misconceptions that people say, you know, like 4-hour work week, or I enjoy my life, or I delegate, or those kind of things, and they miss the essence of leadership in this symbiosis. Can you touch a little bit on those things?
Yeah, I agree that's very important. And those notions are very linked to the confidence, actually. Confidence and clarity. So I'm just bouncing on what you've just said because of the work we're doing. Yes, delegation implies a lot of things. We could elaborate for hours. It's the leadership is, of course, this capacity of being able to delegate with trust and confidence. And for that, you need to develop your confidence, your self-confidence. And this is actually, and you've learned it with the horses. There's few things that really touch the situation of today of remote working, where of course you have to develop your confidence and also your clarity. And as you know, with horses here, if they don't trust you, if you're not confident, if they are not confident, and if you're not clear in terms of communication, we're talking here body language, non-verbal communication, then you're lost. You will not be able to delegate anything, because if you delegate but your instructions are not clear, nothing is going to happen, because as you said, you're still in charge as the manager, as the leader. So you have to be clear on your message. And that's all the type of things you need to develop, and particularly in this time of remote working, where people are alone at home with a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty as well, because nobody knows what's going to happen. So more than ever, the other aspect that you need to develop is the lead by example. As a leader, you need to show the example. You need to lead by example. Show even when you don't know, and it's fine. It's fine not knowing what will be the future, but it's good to be clear. So that's
clarity is a key thing. Is basically knowing what questions to ask when you don't know, and knowing what answers to give when you do know. I think that's
and also being clear on what you expect from the people. You're far away from the office, from you. You might have a daily session, but on the work to be done, you need to be clear on what has to be done. So if there's any misunderstanding, it will be even let's say emphasized by the fact that people are not in the same office. So, and it might lead to very strong misunderstanding, and also cost a lot of money to the company.
Absolutely.
Because if we're talking about production, for example, then the damage could be very severe.
Absolutely.
So those skills as leader and manager, I would say, in this period of COVID-19, they are essential more than ever. And I expect, to be honest, talking about business and the forecast we may have, I expect that next month, once all this will be over, that people will understand that it is the essence of good leadership and management, and this is the essence of efficiency and development for the company. If people trust themselves, they're confident, they're clear, and the leader in particular, but even in the company, in teams, then the work is the performance is much better, much better.
Absolutely. I'm an advocate of this. What you're saying, I live it on a daily basis, whether with my businesses or with my clients, and that's truly what it is. If you take into account, basically people need, when you're in a position of leadership, people need you to make the decisions, period. There is no other person that can make the decisions. And accepting that not every decision you're going to make, accepting two things. First, that not every decision you're going to make is going to be the right one, but living with that is one thing. And the other one is the speed of the decision in which you have to take. You don't have time to just sit down and say, okay, I'm going to brainstorm, I'm going to think, and I'm going to change my mind 50 times. In crisis, people need to say, okay, this way or that way, and we need an answer in 5 seconds. It's not like the storm is coming from behind. I need to go this way or that way. So, and I need 5-10 seconds to make the decision. And you don't have the luxury of spreadsheets and whatever it is. And so I think as a leader in terms of crisis, in crisis management, people are expecting direction. People are expecting outcome, meaning that, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do. That's the reasoning I followed to take this decision. This is the impact that is going to affect your daily lives, right? And this is the possible outcomes. And if we succeed, we will all have succeeded together. And if we fail, we will all have failed together, and we will adjust. And while doing those things, we'll adjust. In 2 months, we'll see. If we can do this, we'll do this. And we can do that, we do that. But that's the clear objective. The clear objective is stay alive, serve our clients. For example, stay alive, serve our clients, pay your salaries, and then get over with this crisis. So if this is a clear objective and it's clearly communicated to the team, even if you have adjustments during the period and during the time, right? I think people will accept it, because listen, we have to go from point A to point B. Great. They know there's a point A, they know there's a point B, and they know what to expect in point B. If you change the roadmap, but you keep the direction towards point B, and they believe in point B, they will tolerate the change of roadmaps. The problem is a lot of people start with a roadmap that is changing and they have zero clarity on where they want to go, because either they don't believe in themselves, or either they don't know what to say, or either sometimes they don't want to commit. Oh, what if I say and I'm wrong? Well, you're wrong. What do you want me to say? Yeah. You make a decision, you make the right choice, you make the wrong choice. That's the only privilege you have as a leader, is to be able to make decisions, right? So
the very important point, which is acceptance. And again, we're learning from that today, and we should have learned before. Acceptance is we have to accept the situation right now, and nobody knows what's going to happen, and nobody knows what will be the future. So we have to accept this situation, as we have to accept mistakes.
Yeah.
Of course, there will be some correction, but we have to learn that doing mistakes is not a problem. It's okay. Of course, in this period, we have to limit as much as possible the number of mistakes. But there will be mistakes, because we are entering in a new world where people are working remotely, and we will all learn. And how do we learn? By doing mistakes. And by accepting those mistakes, we're learning even better, and then we develop them. So that's very important. And those adjustment from the manager, from the team, will be more easy if everybody agree that it's fine to do mistakes. Yeah. And again, coming back to the horses, when you interfere with them, we're getting people that have never interfered with horses, and we are not giving them any instruction. Why? Because we want them to learn by themselves. And Absolutely. How do they learn? By doing mistakes. So we giving if we give somebody halter and say go and put it on a horse, I don't know how to do it. Just try. You will do mistakes maybe, but you'll do it. You have to halter on the horses. It's accepting mistake, and then at the end of the day, there's some learning, a very deep learning, because you did it with your emotion. Absolutely. And that's one of the things that is important to us right now. Is we are dealing with a lot of emotion. So we need to be we need to use our emotional intelligence to become more agile and better interfere one with another, so that for the benefit of the community, of the companies, of the world.
Of course. So basically, what can you say to the people that are working at home? Because a lot of people now are in phases where their lives, because of course we're talking about leadership, we're talking about decisions and stuff like this, but people are now in the position of their lives where some people are questioning their lives, like they're saying, okay, am I actually going to stay in this job or not? Because usually these questions come and go, but your daily life basis just doesn't allow you to answer them. But now that you're at home, and coronavirus or COVID-19 actually forced you to decisions that you didn't want to make, right? So what do you say to people that are struggling with this? And we'll end on this note. What is your advice to somebody who's struggling with, should I do this? Should I do that? What is this? What is that? How is it going to impact my life? And those kind of things.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll try to answer that question in two ways. First, of course, being obliged to work from home is very will depend on the way people are reacting. Depend on the people themselves.
Yeah.
Some people will cope with that, with the work, with working from home without any problem. Some others will struggle. They will struggle because it's difficult. And here we are dealing with emotions. So the first advice that I would give is, and it's available to everybody, use your emotional intelligence. Try to identify each time the emotion that are coming, and don't be the emotion. Just feel the emotion instead of saying I am angry. It's better to say I feel I am angry. So you don't appropriate the emotion, because if you appropriate the emotion, then the emotion will drive your life and your action. It's better to identify the emotion and then use your conscious to define the best action to be performed. Why? Because then if you say I'm angry, then well, I'm pissed off, then all the action that will follow will be based on let's say non-logical and an emotional reaction. But if you start saying I feel I am angry, then you can ask more questions. What can I do? What is it now that is happening in this situation that makes me angry? So what can I change? How can I react?
Yeah, and time. So actually it's temporal. So if you say I am angry, it becomes a statement. It's like I am Toufic and I am angry. So it's like a name. It becomes like a name. But when you say I feel angry, it becomes temporary, right?
Yeah, and your reaction will be emotional. If I am angry, your reaction will be emotional. Yeah. If you start by I feel I am angry, then you can use your brain, your consciousness, just to question yourself and try to identify why. Yeah. Define what are the criteria, what are the point that make me angry, and then see if you can change them, and then you can make good decision. Either change the room, call someone, try to have a coffee, change your behavior, because you identify your emotion. If you don't identify your emotion while you're home and stuck, then it starts to be difficult, because you will be your emotions, and you, as Toufic, you might react being angry. I mean, you might have a very strong reaction or different from mine. If you start using your brain to identify what's happening, then of course we have the same deduction and make the same decision, because it's just a question of opening a window just to have some fresh air.
Of course.
So and it's valid for any emotion that is coming to you. Yeah. So that's the first thing. Then, to better understand you, one thing we've developed, maybe you remember, we're using a platform, an American platform called Humantelligence.
Okay, we'll put the link in the description for everybody to be able to.
Develop a module that is free to everybody, where with a 12 minutes assessment, so 12-minute question, it will tell you how you cope with working based on certain parameters, some certain profile, behavior, motivators. It will tell you how you are supposed to cope with working remotely, and it will give you your strengths and your weaknesses. Then you can also have a look and identify what is supposed to be your weaknesses, and work. I mean, first confirm that yes, it might be the case right now, because I'm really feeling this, and there are some good advice as well that you can find on this platform that will tell you what to do and how to cope. And it's also valid for the manager. If they have team, if they ask them to do the test, then they will have some sort of let's say an image of who from their team may have some problem working from home and who is happy with that. So this helps as well the leader and the manager to better manage their team. Yeah, that's the two things I would say, just to help people.
I'll make sure to include all the links in the description for people to be able to connect with you. I'll include your connections. I think at this time, people should just say, okay, the world has stopped, and it's also an opportunity to sit down, to think, to master your emotions, to take a little bit more control of your life. And I think Kader, Daphne, and the horses can help with this at a later stage.
And remember, it's not a question of stopping the emotion. We have to accept, again, it's acceptance. Accept your emotion and regulate them. It's a question of regulation, not of denying. accept your emotion and regulate them.
Yeah.
Because it is not always easy, but with this confinement, everybody will learn it, because you're surrounded by a lot of children with responsibilities, and you're stuck in your home. You have to find a solution. You cannot shout all the time. It's impossible, and you have to deliver. So you have to find a solution. So people, one way or another, will have to come to better know themselves and understand themselves. And the best way to do that is the first thing that is valid for everybody, and it starts. Any project, any business, any idea comes and start from an emotion.
Okay.
So we are back to the roots. Back to the roots.
Yeah. We're emotional beings. We're emotional beings. We feel, and when we feel, people see it. Kader.
And try to find, again, last point, try to use your 5 senses, but also the 6 ones.
Yeah.
We have intuition, all of us. So use your intuitions.
Yeah. Kader, thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome. I need to go back to the horses.
Yeah, I know you do. I'll stop the recording now.